Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of GODMAKER. Wednesday nights, most explosive deity homebrew for Pathfinder Second Edition you will ever see. I'm going to tell you who it is that we are. Hi. We are 3 of the 5 cast members of the Tabletop Gold actual play podcast. My name's Lars. I'm joined today by Zoe Chernikoff. Hi, Zoe.
Hello. How are you, Lars?
I'm doing okay. I'm hanging in there. It's happening. Everything's fine.
That's all you can do.
This is your first time on GODMAKER and your first time on Twitch. On top of that, how's it going so far? These first 19 seconds.
It's exhilarating.
Yeah,
I feel exhilarated.
I can tell.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, welcome.
That's a very positive response.
Very positive. And we're also joined this evening by, of course, R. Matt Humphreys. Hi, R. Matt.
Hey, how's it going, Lars? I remain the Ed McMahon to your Johnny Carson, as always.
You have a complete, full-on record of, like, you have been present for every GODMAKER so far. You've gotten your fingers into all of these divine pies that we have constructed.
Definitely going to win the attendance award at the end of the season.
And that's what I'm aiming for.
The Cal Ripken Jr. of GODMAKER, R. Matt Humphreys.
God, wouldn't that
Junior
be
or senior? Is the
nice.
Old man that never missed a game, or was it his son? Who knows? Who's to say?
I actually don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
We've arrived at the hard limit of my sports knowledge, and
Sadly,
now we're traveling to realms unknown.
Yeah, mine too. Okay, so let's get started. GODMAKER, we're doing it. We're going to make a god. Here's the situation. We are typically on the actual play podcast, Tabletop Gold, where you can hear us every week playing through the Abomination Vaults adventure path for Pathfinder Second Edition. And we play the game. We do the sort of intense moment-to-moment adventure side of tabletop role-playing games, but there's this other side, the more freeform creative, like homebrew sort of side. And that's what this show is really about capturing. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do some homebrew, and we are going to homebrew a god. Over the course of this series, we will homebrew an entire pantheon of gods. And in this one episode, we are going to homebrew one member of that pantheon to help make the first steps of developing a world of our own that we may one day run adventures in.
And then wonder why on earth we put these ridiculous gods in it.
Yeah. We love
Whose
the
idea
setting,
was it to
but
have
these gods are,
god?
Yeah. Well, the truth
That's
is that it
how
was
gods
all
are,
of our
though.
idea. Right. We can't do any worse than we're doing in our. No, that's too political. Okay, let's keep going with. So the first thing that we do on GODMAKER is we start to fill out the GODMAKER questionnaire. If you've seen our other video game streams, you know that we have a tendency to chat a lot with chat. That's something that we can't do as often on this series, but we will from time to time check in on this chat break window where we can say hello to people such as G. Browdy, saying hello and questioning the fact that we have advertisements on this stream, but that's fine. We'll deal with that later. So here's the GODMAKER questionnaire. We'll be checking in with chat at various points throughout this process as we fill out the GODMAKER questionnaire and make a god. I've said that a number of times. It continues to be true. It was true. It is true. And that's what we're doing.
A beauty in repetition.
Thank you. I'm the Brian Eno of Twitch. Guys.
I mean, just think about how good Daft Punk's Around the World is. You want to go around the world another time.
You do.
Yeah.
You sure do. So Zoe,
every time.
The way that the first thing that we do in GODMAKER is we roll a D8 to determine what god it is that we're making, but we have some gaps that we need to fill in on this list.
Sure.
We have so far on this series made Voltheros, the Way, the god of quotidian travel, public transportation, and city infrastructure.
Okay.
Rahaim, the god of dreams, consciousness, and premonition. And Fiannan Glitterhearth, the god of frivolous excess, decorative adornment, and like delirium and like mania.
Was Robin involved in that last one?
Yeah, but it was actually David's. That was David's pitch.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess he spends a lot of time with our daughter, so that makes sense too.
I don't know if that's where it came from. I'll have to ask him next time. But
yeah, get the inside track on that.
Zoe, I don't think that any of these 7 topics that we have now, cheese and dairy, harvest, memory, blood, dysfunction and entropy, herbs, and forge craftsmen artisans. I don't think that we have anything redundant yet. So we're not going to cut any of these, and we're going to fill in one new topic here. And Zoe, I'd love it if you did that.
Will it be number 4?
It will be number 4. Sorry, before you say that, I just want to say thank you to Sundance Kid 007 for following us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Here's looking at you, kid.
Here's looking at you.
This is going to be the god of tedium, bureaucracy, and red tape.
Love it. Amazing.
You know they're out there somewhere.
One of the dark
Otherwise it wouldn't be
gods
like
of
this.
the setting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love it. I think that's perfect. Because we think sometimes about like how are these guys related to each other. I'm so excited to determine the relationship between tedium, bureaucracy, and red tape, and dysfunction and entropy.
Right, like they're cousins or something. Like there's some backstory there.
They could be twins for all we know. Who's to say?
Yeah, true.
Okay. Who wants to roll a d8? Zoe, could be. We do have lovers. Voltheros
Frenemies.
and Fiannan Glitterhearth are lovers occasionally.
Okay.
So we're already there.
All right,
Friends with benefits, I think, is where I came up with.
Oops.
Yeah, please roll a d8.
Well, all right. 2.
2? Okay.
2.
Let's go 2. What is that? The god of harvest is what we're doing today, then.
We'll call her Demeter.
Okay. I think that might be taken. I don't know.
All right.
We're done. It's Demeter. We're just taking
it. Yeah.
It's the public
Nailed
domain.
it.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you all for coming.
You did a great job.
This podcast brought by the ancient Athenians.
Yes.
Yeah. Although I guess
okay.
that would probably be Athena. Oh, get it together.
That's fine. Dimitri. Okay, so harvest. Let's talk about harvest for a second.
Yep.
It's seasonal. Harvest is seasonal. It's a god. This god potentially has some sort of idea of a cycle, something returning to a stage over and over again, potentially. Harvest is something. There's something about change involved with harvest.
It's hard work.
It's hard work. There's work involved for sure.
I feel like some anxiety, right? You botch the harvest, and then that's no good. Then winter, you starve.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. I like that a lot. So it's like, because I'm trying to find a different, like harvest gods. How many harvest gods are there in reality? Probably countless over the eons of human existence. Like everybody has had a harvest god at some point. So this is well-trod territory, and I feel like we need to come up with a unique angle. I like the idea of like the angle that you're talking about, Zoe, where it's like this society is careening towards catastrophe and then is saved by a harvest. I think is something that feels fun and exciting to me. I don't know. What do you guys think?
No, yeah. I like that. Then maybe the harvest god is sort of nervous, right? Like if you like, they're not. I feel like the harvest god is often sort of robust, be they female, male, or otherwise, and like this person is, or God is like really on the line, right? Like you got to perform.
Yeah. One thing I was thinking about with harvest gods, as because that was one of my submissions for the list. Was thinking about like what would a darker harvest god look like? Like I was thinking about like the Celtic deities and like how Samhain is the period of like transition between the world and the underworld kind of.
How does that relate to harvest? Can you help me? Like, can you connect the dots for me? Just as somebody who has no basis in that at all. I don't really know anything about that.
I basically was thinking of like, I don't know if this is real or not, but the Wicker Man movies and like how they build this sacrifice and like thinking about like a god of harvest that demands sacrifice. Like in one way you're killing a thing because you're taking the food from the land and it no longer grows. And so anyway, that was sort of one idea I had, but
and I feel like the not to go back to the Greek, which obviously we're just going to wind up with Demeter here, so we're going to get there anyways. But like that's Persephone, right? I mean, it's like a slightly different version of the story, right? But like taken to the underworld, and you get to spend half the year above, half below. Like it's a different, but the same thing, right? Like death after the harvest comes a period of like total fallowness.
Totally, like going from life to death and then back again, and like the cycle of that. Totally, yeah.
There's something that I really like about the Wickerman thing that I think ties into a little bit of what we're talking about with like nervousness or about precariousness. Like
yeah.
the idea of the Wickerman, and I've only seen the remake. I've only seen the Nicolas Cage thing. But the idea that this is a god that demands that this dude. Sorry, I'm about to spoil the end of the Wickerman. Sorry, everybody.
Is this the one where he clutches his face with the bees?
That's the one where they
Okay.
put bees on him. But the idea that this
all right.
god is like so capricious, this god demands payment. This god demands, this god requires sacrifice in order for things to go well. This is not a god that provides comfort. This is a god that if you don't give them exactly what they want, your civilization crumbles or your agrarian society crumbles or whatever.
Yeah, that's like, I love that idea.
How are you feeling, Zoe?
Yeah. No,
What
I'm
are
in.
you, what
I'm
are,
in
what
on
are,
that.
what are you reacting to? What do you like
I'm
most?
trying to like I like all of this, and now I'm trying to like sort of take it a step further and like get a sense of like, is this person cruel, or are they doing this out of like, is this like the maybe it's just because I said tedium, bureaucracy, and red tape, right? But like, is this the IRS where it's just like sort of someone fulfilling a mandate from elsewhere, or is it their own sense of obligation? That's what I was just sitting here trying to decide. But I don't think I don't have enough of a. I'm not committed either way.
This is maybe related to that. I kind of like the idea of potentially this being a god that holds two separate things, like something in one hand and something in the other hand.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be a god that like, like that has maybe in one hand. This is very on the nose, but maybe that's appropriate. Like is like has like seeds in one hand and then has like.
I was just thinking seeds. Yeah, like a bag of little. Yeah.
So
or like
it's
a skull in the other,
seeds
maybe?
or a skull in the other one.
But the skull is also a cup and a collecting vessel. Like it's sort of a multi-purpose skull.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's
Well,
one
then
of
maybe
those
we
skulls
combine
that
them
also
together.
double as a goblet.
Maybe it's a skull filled with like a goblet skull filled with seeds. Maybe we
Or like its teeth hold the seeds or something. Like well, now I'm onto teeth.
On
I can't do
brand.
teeth. I've done enough teeth.
maybe
No teeth.
Maybe not enough. Maybe this is
Yeah, lean into the teeth.
where an alternate universe for Ao's kin or
Right,
something.
her.
I don't know.
No, yeah, the skull, or like in the cranial cavity is I'm trying to think where you'd keep seeds in a skull, because it turns out there's just a lot of holes in there, right? Because the face, when you get rid of all the fleshy parts, has a lot of holes. So would the seeds fall out? I'm being too practical.
It's a bad storage solution for sure.
Unless you're keeping like one softball in there, but then do you need the skull for the softball? I think like not. Yeah,
Probably work on a shelf by itself, right?
Yeah, you don't need the skull.
Yeah.
What's going on? Okay.
Softball storage, Lars. Keep up.
I'm with you. Softball storage, a softball and a skull. It's
what
obvious.
if this person is to Armat's kind of like death, darkness? What if they're like, and the seeds, like if they're an underground dweller, not necessarily the underworld, right? But like, so they can like go through and destroy the plants if the harvest isn't to their liking, or like slash roots.
Yeah.
Like they sort of quietly destroy crops if they don't like them.
So they could be like a mole,
cool.
maybe.
Yeah.
Or like a boogeyman figure, even, that like if you're bad, they'll come up from the ground and like slash your crops, and
they can pop up.
But they could also. Oh well. So is that the only? Do we need to do the two sides thing? Like, is it that you worship this god to keep them away from you? Is this like the sort of the reverse? Are we getting to a reverse harvest god?
There's definitely appeasement, right? Like
yeah. I love that.
So what animal? I like the. Can we let's just make a choice. Can this god be an animal, please?
I like it. I'm here for it. That feels appropriate for harvest. Flora, fauna.
Yeah.
And what is like a good animal that destroys crops from underground?
Grasshopper, mole, rabbit,
bird, raven, raccoon,
worm.
Worm.
Ooh.
That's wonderful, because worms also eat things and generate loamy soil. So
right, they're good, but they're
that's
destructive.
Awesome.
So
good
I like
idea.
that idea that it's like a worm that could eat through your crops, but also could fertilize your crops.
That's so cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a worm.
It's a worm. That's the
It's
thing
a
about
worm.
it is it's a worm. Yep.
That's borderline insect-like thing. Are worms bugs? That's
And
the
it's
question that we've
also-
all been dealing with.
Kind of goes to the life death thing because worms, of course,
Right. Eat corpses.
eat corpses, and so it could be like harvest graveyards and like interment
Renewal?
renewal.
Well, and they're
yeah.
regenerative, right? Is it true that I feel like if you cut a worm in half, it keeps
They
living and
do.
it's two
They
worms?
do.
Yeah, I
Yes.
think so.
I definitely believe that as a child, and I feel like cleaved at least one worm in my life. So I hope it's true because I really don't like hurting animals, but who knows?
Yeah.
G. Brady
Sorry,
in
worm.
chat is pointing out that worms are hermaphrodites, so there's some potential lore
Ooh.
there also.
Oh.
So we've got
And
duality in a number of different
That's interesting
ways.
from a fertility standpoint too, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
crops,
totally.
like plants, are often have both sort of
right.
capabilities,
Both
Okay.
pistil and stamen. Is
What's
Yeah.
this guy's
as it were.
name?
Oh boy.
What do we name this worm? That is the harvest god. What do we think?
For some reason, the thing that just came in my mind, which we don't have to go with, but I need to share, is Greg.
Please. Greg?
Yes.
Okay.
Fear him. He is
their
Greg.
name- I just
Are there
like the
any...
idea of-
of just having a god named Greg? Hi, it's me. Well,
Fear
let's
me.
look at I want to look up the meaning of the name Greg.
Okay.
Greg.
Oh, Gregory.
Means watchful or vigilant. Vigilant.
Okay.
Can you believe it? I don't know how to read words. It's horrible.
The Irish word for worm is paste, since we've used those as jumping off points in the past.
How do you spell that?
P E with an accent IST, paste.
Paste.
But maybe it's
This is making me think of, has anyone seen the Catastrophe show? Anyway, whatever. It's a couple. They have a child that they don't plan to have. The second season, they have a second one, and the woman and the couple is Irish, and they name it something that the guy who is American just can't pronounce. It's like Moira, but it's more complicated than that, and
That's
has like a
great.
Gaelic, and he could just paste is giving me vibes of that.
Can we combine these together? Can we get Greg and Paste together?
yeah, that's what paste Greg or
Pragst.
paste.
Greg. I'm trying to get the right angle, the right thing on the E, the right deal.
Yeah.
I'm looking up Greg in Greek to see if that gives us anything.
No, it's
Yeah.
this thing. Okay.
Gregorios.
Hmm.
So
Pastorios?
Yeah. I like
Greg
the GR
Paste.
as like grit because it's like got a very guttural kind of
I know,
sound,
yeah.
which makes sense.
what if we
for a
just
worm god.
do this? Graced.
Love it?
Graced. Yeah, I'm here for
Greg.
it.
The Greg the Worm, aka Graced. No? Yes?
Graced. Yeah.
Graced?
Okay, let's do
And
it.
also, grist, isn't grist a thing? Like grist in the mill? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yes. What is grist,
And-
guys? Do we know what grist is? Can we get a...
I feel like it's
Confirmation?
schmutz, but
Is it a schmutz? Grain
Grist?
that is ground to make flour.
Is an American nonprofit online magazine apparently as well.
Oh, okay.
good for them.
Yeah,
I'm
there
sure
we
they
go.
came up with it.
First
Donate
result.
or don't. We don't know.
Yes. Okay. So let's do it. Let's call it graced.
Oh, I
and
like this. And then grist means something that is initially seems bad, but is ultimately used in a positive way to someone. I feel like that works.
Hey, this is
Yeah.
good. This is good.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's our nickname or log line? And this is going to be tough. So what we had was Voltheros the Way. That was our transportation god. We
Mhm.
had Rahaim the Whisper Between, which was our dreams god.
Mm.
We had Fiannan Glitterhearth, the boundless crafter. So this is graced, comma, the blank is what we're aiming for here. on
My
GODMAKER.
brain went immediately to all consumer or the devourer maybe. But
So how do we get that and get the potential renewal thing in there too?
I was just trying to think,
yeah,
like, what
that's right. It's
devour
too
and-
one-sided.
But I like it.
Um,
But I think that getting that flavor, like we could do like the devourer and, blah blah and whatever the other thing is.
Devourer of
The cycler, the I'm just trying to think what worms do. The old in and out. That's not good.
The old internet number
Nailed
one,
it.
number two.
The
The
What are-
taster.
taster.
It's a little weird.
Graced the taster. Have you been worshiping Gracedy Tasty again?
Yeah. What was the
Um,
hasty tasty in something?
What was Hasty Tasty in is the question?
Yeah, wasn't
The
that a
Hasty
thing?
Tasty Pound Cake House in
Oh,
Dayton, Ohio. Is that what you're thinking of?
I guess
'Cause
that's
that's a
what I
thing
was
that
thinking
exists.
of.
Okay.
Weird.
The
Okay.
sampler. I'm trying to think of something that implies like eating some but not all.
Yeah. Oh,
The gleaner,
no.
the forager, the gatherer, the
Forager
the
is interesting.
harvester.
the harvester. Is it just graced the harvester? That has a double connotation to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The
No.
Reaper, but that feels too dark.
It feels too
Mm.
dark.
Someone's taken that. His name is Graham. His name is Grim.
His
Grim,
name
yeah.
is Grim.
His
The
name
gatherer,
is
the
Grim.
Oh, please, my
grower?
father was Mr. Reaper. Just call me Grim.
Just call me Grim.
The
The
cutter,
inspector.
the
Cutter,
inspector.
the
So I'm looking for eating synonyms now.
What error? I was also
The
trying to
the cram downer, graced the muncher,
the
graced
gourmand.
the guzzler, the
the
inhaler,
greedy guts.
graced the inhaler. Do we
Is he
like
is he
that?
pig? Is he more like brawny or picky? Like how do we? What's
I think he's
Grace's-
hungry.
Grace,
I
he's
think
hungry.
he's hungry.
Yeah, I like the
Graced the ravenous.
It's kind of badass.
Oh, I
yeah.
like the ravenous
Yeah.
because that also implies he like moves on.
Yes.
Mm.
The
graced,
feaster.
graced the peckish. Graced the feaster.
Grace.
That sounds bad
Graced the
altogether.
insatiable.
Oh,
the ravenous renewer. No.
Oh, interesting.
Renewer. I like
Ravenous
that.
Renewer is the alliteration is fun and it has the sort of generative cyclical feel.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that captures everything we're talking about.
Cool.
Let's do it, right?
Love
yeah.
it.
Okay, Grace the Ravenous Renewer. This is something that eats a lot and outputs a lot, and if you are treated well by it, your harvest goes well, and if not, they just take and leave you with nothing.
What if we did renewal instead of
The Ravenous Renewal. I love it.
renewer?
Like the way. I love the way. I'm so glad that that happened.
That was a fun one.
Do you know the way? Okay. Does this god have any specific physical features, i.e. an unusual number of limbs, strangely colored hair, noteworthy body parts of animals, etc.? So my initial instinct here is that this is a worm with a particularly large mouth and a particularly large butthole, but I don't know if that's like something that we're going to be able to get the AI to create without getting kicked off of the platform.
Well, and
So-
I think they're a ginger, right? They have like sort of a red sweep over. No,
They have a Conan O'Brien haircut is
Yeah.
ultimately, I think, what it is.
is it a pink worm or a gray worm or a different
good
colored
question.
worm?
I would like to suggest, sort of in Ao's honor, that maybe it is a worm with a like huge teethy maw to like
Yeah.
chomp and
Sure, it has a bite
gnash and-
attack.
yeah,
Definitely got a bite
a
attack.
literal bite attack. Yeah, exactly.
Well, it
Yeah.
put points into strength, so it's able to use a bite attack effectively. But
I feel like maybe it has the ability to change color, so it can like camouflage or also become sort of like red and black and intimidating to suit its, its cyclical. Like I like the idea that it sort of can change,
yes,
Yeah,
maybe in a limited range, right? Like I don't know that this thing is ever purple or
is it
orange,
possible to?
but
Could it just be multicolored? Could we just say that it has many different colors? It is like a rainbow of a worm, or is that
but
too
not a
silly?
pretty rainbow, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like a disgusting rainbow worm.
Yeah, I'm all right. Disgusting rainbow worm. That
Ugh.
feels right.
I mean, this is awful. This
Into it.
horrible rainbow. Okay, so let's
I
just
feel
say
like maybe it has the same toothy mouth at both ends. And stuff
I
like
like
can
that.
go in or out of either.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, so it's like its renewal is like it vomiting it up. Oh, that's so gross.
Or
I
is
love
it pooping? Who knows? We don't know.
Why
I
can't it
like
be
that
both?
this is so
Yeah.
poop. I like that we're being so poop positive. I like that the way that we're thinking about poop is like, this is good. Like, it's ultimately
worm
really
poop
good.
is good.
It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, a multicolored worm with a toothy mouth on both ends.
Yeah.
That's what we're making. We're making Grace
That's
the Ravenous Renewal. It's a multicolored worm with a toothy mouth on both ends.
Oh, can I jump ahead a little?
Yes.
Maybe its symbol could be like an Ouroboros, except its two mouths are like facing each other.
Oh.
Okay.
It's at war with itself.
Yeah.
Okay, wait.
It's two disparate sides.
Hang on to that for 1 second. I want to get that down. I just realized that I filled this out wrong. Okay, Armet, can you say that again, please?
Oh, its holy symbol is like a oh god, I'm blanking on the thing I just said. The Ouroboros. Except the end is the two toothy mouths facing each other like a.
Is Ouroboros, is it a circle or is it like a figure 8?
I
don't
was
actually know.
imagining with this it would be a figure 8.
I
or
agree.
Almost, yeah. Oh, cool.
Like an
Yeah.
infinity symbol, but the mouths are meeting. Yeah.
Totally, yeah, exactly.
Oh, I
yeah.
like the infinity symbol. Maybe that's what this thing should look like. I guess that's fine. Okay. That's part of the symbol. I feel like this is maybe a god that is more considered via its symbol than by its actual physical.
We
deal.
don't see it very often, I
Manifestation,
think.
yeah.
Right.
Like,
It's
you're doing
on low
well
to
if you avoid
ground.
it.
Okay, so what is their relationship with other gods that we've established? With our quotidian travel and local infrastructure god, what's the relationship here? It seems like they exist in the same place. Like,
Maybe they're
But-
like Zeus and Poseidon, like both powerful but like very different places in the
Domains.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like the other gods kind of look down on this god, even though Grace is very
the other gods don't like that they owe as much to them as they do.
right. Like, they
Yeah.
sort of want to dismiss it because it's down in the ground and it's this gross worm thing. But like, they should be giving it more deference because it can it can go into the little local townships and stuff that Voltharos is overseeing and like wreak havoc. But they sort of try to like minimize it.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I like that. So, I sort of feel like Rahaim, they could be siblings. Like Dreams and Harvest feel like they could be. Like those are like, to me, the travel
they could
feels
have like
it
a.
is- Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say they could have like a shared festival. Actually, maybe like they're worshipped as part of a sub pantheon kind of thing. Like the Eleusinian mysteries were both like Demeter and Persephone and Hades.
Yes.
Since we're going from the Demeter.
Well, also because Rahaim is the god of premonition, that's something that would be related to harvest a lot. Like, you want to be able to see the future if you're planning your harvest, right?
Right. Like, Rahaim's one of the few gods that will actually speak to Grace and like communicate and hopefully try to wheedle like a better outcome.
And they're both in the ground. They're both like ground gods. So that's like a strong connection between the two of them.
Yeah.
I'd say that they're probably friendly, right?
Yeah.
Like, they probably have a good relationship.
Amicable.
Yeah.
Amicable.
And like
Okay.
maybe also kind of co-workers as well. Like they both
Yes.
are like subterranean chthonic gods.
Yes. Chthonic. Indeed.
Great word.
Love that word so much.
Okay, and then Fionn Glitterhearth. I think that she would be reliant on harvest, right? Like, you can't do boundless crafting unless you have success with harvest. So I don't know what that means in terms of personal relationship between these gods, but like, I feel there is a connection, but that she's sort of like, what she gets from it is more than what it gets from her, you know?
Does she? I feel like maybe she takes it for granted, though. I don't know. I wasn't here for who she is, but
She's just like the embodiment of like the feeling of mania and inspiration that overtakes
so
you
she
while
takes
you do
everything
crafting.
for granted.
Yeah, kind
so
of.
it's like it's no different, but she's just kind of like She uses its byproducts.
So
But-
what if we say this? Is this too much? Is it too much to say that Vianen Glitterhearth is the daughter of Greased, the Ravenous Renewal, our worm?
Which one is she in
God.
a relationship with?
She's friends with benefits with Voltheros because people do graffiti on train cars.
Well, I like that then. And then, we're not quite at like parent-in-law, but like as the, somewhat significant, like if you're friends with benefits, you feel weird about the parent of the person you're friends with benefits. So I feel like this fits together.
That's
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that too. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Boltharos always being like, oh, I can't make it that weekend. I have a bridge to open up.
Gotta study for my level up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, biography. Please share any myth or origin story that explains some detail about who they are or connects some real-world occurrence to something this god has done. Well, okay, I'm just going to start typing words, but it's like we have to establish the idea that this feels like this is central to what it is that we've been talking about, where it's like farming communities like worship and make massive sacrifices to Graced in order to have their crops replenished by him rather than eaten by him, right? Like that's kind of like what that's like the whole arc of what it is that we've been talking about, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say maybe it's like a Sodom and Gomorrah kind of thing where one city is saved by making sacrifice to Graced, and then the other is destroyed because they didn't worship him or make sacrifice to him, and he destroyed all their crops, and it was a horrible thing.
Tied to that, I like the idea that he's one of the like oldest gods in this pantheon.
Yes.
And one of his biggest fears is being like forgotten or disregarded. And so he'll go, like when he feels like someone hasn't made significant sacrifice, sometimes his like pride gets wrapped up and he'll wreak havoc.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, I want to go back and change something then because I love that. I really like that, and I think that changes some of our relationships with other gods a little bit. But it feels that people haven't made significant sacrifices, that it or when it feels as though it's been forgotten by the people. Zoe, how are you finishing that
or
sentence?
like disregarded or forgotten?
Yeah.
Then it can wreak havoc, right? Like if it feels slighted, it will overreact.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, cool. So, yeah. So I think that this changes the Voltheros relationship a little bit because Voltheros sort of represents like civilization taming the world, moving past agriculture. It's sort of like a developer, a civilizer, and so on. So I would think that the Voltheros has maybe a more confrontational relationship with Graced because I think that Voltheros would want people to worship him instead of Graced. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And also feels like maybe he's the new hotness in town and like civilization is where it's at and agrarian. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's the hot young new thing in town. And I think in Voltheros' mind, Graced could be set aside, even though like they could coexist and you probably need both of them to have a functioning society.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're jealous of one another. Yeah. That's awesome.
Okay.
The relationship section of this pantheon is getting so cool. I have to say.
It's going to be great. I mean, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Every time we do one of these, there's a moment where I'm like, I love this show. I love doing this. And that was this moment here just now. Just like we have enough of these gods now that to consider this like web of connections between them is so much fun.
They could be like a little soap opera.
I think they should be. I think that would be great.
Should we get Sims going where we bake these characters and then let people see what they're up to?
Of course we should.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it seems to me like we should.
We definitely should. Okay, so hey, we're going now to the image section where I get pictures and share them with you, and that means that it's time for our first chat break. Lots of exciting things happening in the chat as I start puttering around with Doll-E, our artificial intelligence art thing. If anybody wants to, so if you guys want to talk to chat at all, feel free to converse. This is the time for that, and this is the time when I struggle to figure out where in this questionnaire I can find the.
I'm seeing Cheesecake Factory. I'm seeing pretzel bites with cheddar cheese.
Okay. Ooh. Yep. Agreed.
Yeah, I'm here for all of those.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. Love Cheesecake Factory.
A multicolored worm with a toothy mouth on both ends, painted by Raphael. Since Raphael is the house artist here at Tabletop Gold.
We always do the style of Raphael.
Oh, yeah, we always do the style of Raphael.
I was feeling Hieronymus Bosch here, so if you're open to changing.
I am definitely open to changing. Well, here's what we've got so far from Raphael.
I like the Richard Scarry quality in the first.
The first time.
The second and.
The second is too colorful, but otherwise feels closest to me. What is the weird red thing coming off of it also? But I can live with that.
The
fourth is also
strange.
Yeah, 2 and 4 to me feel
promising. Yeah.
Best.
Do you want me to get variations on either of these?
I don't. The red and the yellow is too cheerful. I was thinking more like grays, browns, like the kind of tongue pink that an earthworm could be.
Okay.
Yeah, sort of a
little more
darker
earth-tone-y
palette. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna get us some new colors, and we're gonna get a new image. Back in there with chat, talking about
Chad,
being poop positive.
Poopmeister, Grace the Poopmeister, one of his only initiates know that name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh wow, these are so cheerful.
None of these look like Raphael.
Why does it
I was going to say
Morm.
I do like
what's his
the
middle
idea
name?
that maybe depictions of Grace are a little bit more like rudimentary, or like, the way like Giotto's,
yeah, because he's so old. I feel like you can find like cave sketches of him that are like the same shape, and it's the same thing, but it looks more like it's like an etching,
like the Last
rock.
Cow cave drawings or something like that. Yeah, totally.
Okay, I'm gonna try Hieronymus Bosch here.
Ooh, I'm excited for this.
We're gonna get Boshy. You ever watch that TV show Bosch, where Titus Welliver solves a bunch of crimes?
Yeah. I like that show.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we got some stuff happening now. Now that we've gone Bosch.
Oh wow.
I'm liking the double-eyed number 4.
Background of 4. Me too, but what's the snail doing?
What's he doing? What's that snail up to?
Maybe we'll find out. Maybe the snail's another god.
Oh, maybe that's his like brother.
I think that if you're asking
not the god of tedium, bureaucracy, and red tape. I'm just saying.
Can I get variations on one of these, do you think? Are any of these feeling closer to you?
I think 4. I agree with
cartoony? Okay, let's go with 4. We're going to get variations on this.
Are there any ways to make it look
as well?
A little angrier and not purple? Maybe
Absolutely.
Like
I'll remove
gray
the
brown?
word. Yes, I'll remove the word purple from my text that I fed it.
Sure, that will help.
Yeah, that'll help for sure. Okay,
Baby Mannequin, it totally is Dooney, Shai Hulud kind of vibes.
So we just do we just want gray and brown?
Well, I still think it's multicolored, but can morph a little. Like I think it has some sort of camouflage abilities. So I'm fine with a more basic look, but we know in our hearts it can get different.
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of toothy mouth because I'm gonna change that to angry mouth and see how that goes.
Yeah.
See what that looks like. See how we feel about that one.
We're gonna feel good.
Are we gonna feel good? We're gonna love the way Grace looks.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not getting both ends here on this. That's the thing that I'm upset about.
Number 2 has a really funny, just sort of like open stovepipe situation going on.
That's right. Just a vent.
I kind of like 1 weirdly. Something, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't like that it has this extra little appendage on the back of it.
That's its croissant?
Yeah, I don't love that it's part croissant.
It does really look croissant.
I just want to get a second head.
It's the folded pastry. Locks in the butter.
Can you say two-headed?
Yeah, I'm going to say that. A two-headed gray and brown worm. You want to try that? Just see what we get from there?
Angry gray and brown? Oh.
Yeah, I'll get angry next time.
A kitten submarine.
No, that's just a loading screen. Don't worry about it.
I was going to say, it's a great concept.
Okay. All right, guys.
We should go to prototype.
We found.
Oh.
Number 3 is quite salacious to me.
Yeah. Number 3 is...
Number 3 is a problem.
Oh, my. I kind of like number 4. Yeah. Totally.
Okay. Let's get variations on number 4. See how that treats us. Shall we?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Can we do like with sharp teeth or something? I'm trying to think what to add there. That would...
Yeah. I can do that. Let's see what these variations look like.
Number 3 is something. That's correct.
It sure is something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, howdy was it. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna here's what we got. We got no sharp teeth. I'm trying to figure out where to add the teeth. This is getting kind of good though.
Yeah.
But let me change some stuff around.
God, that number 3 really is.
Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got here.
Hey, worm love is beautiful and natural, and
it's true.
Yeah.
It's on us if we're the ones with hangups, honestly. Yeah.
I feel good about this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So this feels pretty on the money to me.
Yeah.
Number 2.
2 or 4?
I kind of like 3 too, weirdly enough. Maybe I can't.
3 is so abstract.
beaky.
I can't tell what I'm like. 3 feels like the AI is just like I like the
given
look
up.
of it, but I don't know
Are there
what
a
I'm
bunch
looking
of
at.
tiny dancing macaronis around it? What are
I
those?
think there's a bunch of dancing macaronis. That's the part of hell that Hieronymus Bosch put this two-headed worm into. Macaroni hell.
Yeah. Which is one of the better sections of hell.
2 is
actually.
a little goofy because of the eyes, which I don't like for Graced.
Okay, well let me edit these eyes out, shall I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goodbye eyes. Just go.
Well, perfect.
Just get rid of that and give me something that doesn't have eyes in it, please. Ah,
What fun!
what fun!
I
truly do feel that like the last 6 months of life is going to be a time of technological development that we're all going to remember and know we didn't quite understand how much it was changing our life. Like you're just making a picture by clicking like a couple of words. Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
What if we look at this one and maybe get some variations on this one? What do you think? Number 2?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sort of a beadier eye. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Let's see what these variations look like.
I had a weird thought.
It's super strange, Zoe. I admit, but it's also like, and you know there are all these ethical questions involved with. Oh, this is not good. this has gotten bad.
Turned into the like Pillsbury dough worm.
Yeah.
The upbeat look in number 4's eyes is pretty funny. Like,
hi
guys, press the hunger. Here, you gonna make sacrifice to me?
Okay, so how do we feel about just going ahead with this one?
I'm good with that. I think we're close. I like our Matt's idea that like every depiction is a little different. Like you never see all of Graced.
Yeah, I like that too.
I like that.
I think that's really fun. Okay, so we're gonna move on now to the symbol, which I'm very excited about because we have such a good sense of that already. Let's save this over here. Let's put that there. There it is. We did it. Yes. Okay, so we're going back to this one, and we're going to talk about the next question on the questionnaire, which is the holy symbol. An infinity Ouroboros, but with 2 mouths facing each other. Is that sort of where we settled on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that totally works for me.
I think it's great.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to get that one generated as well. And we're going to do this as a stained glass window because that's what we've done for the rest of them. And
oh, wow. It's going to be quite a temple or worship site.
it's going to be quite a temple. I agree. I'm very
I'm
excited.
so excited for the person on Etsy who's going to get the commission to make these real stained glass windows.
Oh my God, yeah.
Okay, so this
So
is
it's
Christ.
a worm.
Right. This is a god that I worship.
Make
I
him
made him
scary.
up.
Yeah.
We were going to call him Greg, but that didn't feel right.
Oh,
Greg
I
the
screwed this up.
Hungerer.
I did the wrong thing. Okay.
Feed me buffalo wings. or
Greg
I
the
shall-
Hungerer is definitely like the guy who lost to Joey Chestnut in high school a bunch when he was like trying to become a professional leader, but then just couldn't cut it.
Yeah.
So here's what we got.
Oh.
Not exactly what I asked for. I didn't ask for two badass cobras fighting each other.
But aren't
sort
you
of
glad
like
that you can now
3.
airbrush that on the side of your van? Yeah, I like 3 too.
Yeah. Do we like that it's kind of two Ouroboroses? To a robber? I heard somebody say Ouroboros the other day. How do you feel about that versus Ouroboros?
I've always said Ouroboros, but I am
You're down?
happy to be wrong about that.
No,
Yeah.
Can I ask in what context you heard someone use this word? Because I don't know that I've ever heard it spoken before.
If you play enough video games, every
Sure.
like stupid
Fair.
fantasy plot is like, the Ouroboros. And it's like, okay, guys, everybody calm down.
All right.
So should we go with this one? Do we want to make
Yeah.
that our holy symbol?
I kind of
Yeah.
like that it turns out to be 4 mouths, right? Like this thing has so many mouths that the way it twists and winds,
Yeah,
like people
I like
aren't
that.
sure where it ends or
Yeah.
begins.
I agree.
Maybe it's got some of that like Jormungandr, this world serpent that encircles all of Midgard in Norse mythology. It's always
Sure.
like there's an
you
infinite
go,
worm
okay.
at the heart of the world.
It's a hungry guy. Speaking of hungry guys, boom, there it is.
Boom.
My hungry guys.
My
Can we make
hungry
it not green in the
Okay.
stained glass?
I don't know. Sure.
Brown?
Yeah,
gray?
let's. Okay. So stained glass window depicting a gray infinity Ouroboros.
Yeah, the green just feels like a garden snake to me, and I
It
feel
does.
like Grace
You're not
deserves
wrong.
better.
You're not wrong. Okay. We're going to get more options here. Because
They're going to be weirdly cheerful.
why not?
A weirdly upbeat.
Oh?
I feel like this fourth one is like close. It's like a little more abstract than what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Let me try one more thing.
We could also just eventually turn the one that you found black and white. Would
We could.
basically
We could.
get us to the same place.
Let's try one more. Let's
Oh.
try one more.
One more. The I was getting
One
whale
more.
eyes from number 4. It didn't feel right.
Oh yeah. I can see that.
Oh, well, I think we got something good going on here.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
I think 2,
I like 2.
3.
I like 3. I like
No
1.
takers on 4. I think that's the one I was drawn to, but I'm happy to 2 works for me.
I like-
They're very
I-
beaky. They look like birds to me in 4.
Mm.
I'm probably team 2, but I don't feel very strongly about this.
Let's go. What, Armand? Why don't you make the why don't you make the call? I think that
let's
you
go.
may feel. I think you may feel most strongly about this.
So, what are our choices here? Are
We've
we?
got 1 or 2 or 3 or 4.
I might lean to 1. I think.
Oh, all
okay.
right.
If-
Swerve answer, I love it.
Yeah.
Is
I
that crazy?
love it.
Or
No,
if,
let's
people
do
it's
hate
it.
it.
great. It's great. I
Okay.
love it.
Cool.
Okay, let's get going on this now. We've done it. We've got the god, we've got the symbol, and we are ready to start fleshing out the rest of this deity. What sorts of locales typically house this god's followers?
Farms, countryside, ranches.
Countryside, farms,
Agrarian.
Yeah.
agrarian communities. I don't think any exotic locations, like we're not going to be up in spy heaven. Certainly not that, but we're not going to be up in a sky place,
No.
right?
No, certainly.
Yeah, these are simple folk that worship graced the Ravenous Renewal, right?
Yes.
Maybe also graveyards.
Oh, I like that.
Graveyards, yes, of course. Renewal. Very important. Great. Is that it? Did we do it? I think we did it.
Yeah. Well, that seems good.
Works for
So
me.
what are this god's temples like? I feel like these are humble places, right? These are like maybe
Like
they're
almost
like
even would make
Go
like
ahead.
a little not
Like-
adobe, right? But like a mound of dirt on a field, or like it would be on your farm field
like
where you would
like
go.
a barrow almost.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, totally.
Barrows, mounds of dirt on fields.
Cool.
Very simple handmade
Like homemade. Yeah.
location structures. Right?
Maybe also there's like an icon of something. I'm thinking Wicker Man and Blair Witch Project of like tied together shapes of sticks or twigs into a kind of like
Yes.
some sort of
Like a Texas
holy-
Chainsaw Massacre style. There are a bunch of those in that too, aren't there? I don't know.
I'm sure you're right. I haven't seen it in ages. Too long,
adorned
honestly.
with handmade sort of twisted like totems,
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
like handmade like twisted grain, twisted fiber. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, and maybe
Totally.
those things are made as part of the sacrifice and then burnt on a fire pit for like a roasting of whatever is offered to Christ. Like
Fire
you make
pits.
this sort of intricate thing and then
Yes.
use it as part of the serving.
I was also thinking it'd be cool if like one of the rituals is they offer blood into the dirt, you know? But maybe that's
That seems fine.
We got rituals coming up. Let's do it. Do we like the idea of fire? I like the idea of fire. Let's do fire. Let's do blood. Let's do the whole thing. It makes this weird worm god make a little more sense, right?
Yeah.
into
Okay.
it.
What sorts of professions might this god's followers have? I've got one easy answer.
Mm-hmm.
Farmers.
Is it accountants?
Yeah.
Oh, farmers.
Oh, it's farmers.
Okay.
It's okay. Yep. CPAs.
CPAs is the next in line though, for
That's
sure.
right.
Yeah, I think also just like modest households, right? Like even
Yep.
if you just have a garden and you're sort of like an at-home
Yeah,
a
I like that.
homesteader,
Homesteaders,
a serf.
gardeners, serves. Yeah, that's good. This one, it feels like these are
Undertakers.
undertakers. I like that. It feels like these
Peasants.
are people these are all people that I feel like more advanced society wants to forsake, wants to forget about, which I think is in line
Salt
with
of the earth.
salt of the earth. Yeah, let's just put that in there. That's good. Salt of the earth people. Salt of the earth people.
Hi,
Okay.
I am a salt of the earth person.
It's me, Mr. Salt of the Earth person. Okay, or do we need any more of these, or do you think we've got it?
I think we got that point.
Do this god's followers typically wear any sort of clothing to show their devotion? I'd like to say that some of these people do rituals in the nude. I think that nudity is part of this.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm just going to put that down. Nudity is part of this.
Yeah,
And
maybe with the like enormous bonfires they hold like
yeah, you don't want to have your
revels
clothes
around it.
catch fire when you're at the bonfire,
No.
right?
yeah,
No,
Nobody wants that.
you
total
don't.
faux pas.
Anything else?
I was trying to decide if there was some sort of like anklet or bracelet, like a simple woven thing, but that might be a like sign that you were
Ooh,
a Christ
like that.
follower.
Oh,
I like that.
cool. Yeah.
I think bracelet. Anklet feels affected.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so it's like a woven bracelet
Maybe
in the shape of
of, like-
infinity, maybe like in a double
Yeah.
loop.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
you like, it looks like just two bracelets on your wrist, but if you undo it.
love that.
Maybe at the end of each year's harvest, you make it from dried leftovers of the last year's harvest, and you keep it on until the next harvest.
Yeah, this connects into our sort of like,
like that.
twisted fiber totems kind of thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, for sure.
I
Ooh,
like
and
it.
if it breaks in between, and you're like, that's a bad omen.
Totally.
Oh,
Love that.
so maybe at the harvest you burn this thing. You have to get it
Yeah,
from
it
harvest
gets
to harvest
added
and then
in.
burn it. Yeah.
Yeah. Love that.
I love that the most detailed mythology we've come up with
Bracelet.
is related to a bracelet.
You know what?
during the ritualistic the ritual
Nudity
the ritual
dance.
during the
During
the
the new jiggy.
the nudity dance ritual. Okay, good. We did it.
And NDR.
Yeah, at the NDR. Hey, are you going to go to the NDR
Is that a
this year?
Severance reference? The MDA, music dance experience?
Have you
MDE.
watched Severance yet, Zoe?
I haven't.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. Do this god's followers? Where am I right now? Do this god's followers practice any sort of ritual? So here we go. This is where we're getting into it.
We've got
We've been
the
hitting
fire.
it.
We got the bracelet. We got the
A
woven
big
thing.
bonfire. They're all naked. They're throwing bracelets.
And woven things.
And woven things. Probably more than that, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I think like
Maybe
meat
human
is being roasted.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
Oh, human sacrifice.
Perhaps
Interesting.
a human sacrifice.
At the
Well, maybe
apex,
this
or
is maybe this is not something that everybody likes. But some worshipers.
yeah, there's like some hardcore devout worshipers who feel like you have to make human sacrifice, so they're the like evil cultist version of Christ.
I like the idea that the thing that they're throwing in there is something old, because it's like he's there to renew it. So it has to be something that you retain from the year. Do you like that? So maybe it's like old people get sacrificed. Crops that have been retained throughout the year, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Do we like because there's like the renewal thing, right?
Now I'm wondering if we should rename his tagline "The Composter." I don't think we actually should, but
Ooh,
I feel like that's
I
That's
like it. Let's put
totally,
it in there.
in line.
Let's put it in there as let's just put it in there as an or.
you can have two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like gods that like have multiple, initiate names. Like,
And we're getting the
one
sense
I was
this is a
thinking
very
of was, like,
old
the Dweller.
god, right?
Right. He'd have
Yeah.
multiple names.
Sorry, you were saying the dweller, Armit?
oh, the dweller beneath the stalks, which is like
Ooh.
kind of Lovecraftian.
Let's just keep throwing stuff in here.
Yeah. He's been around.
He's been around. He gets around. Or the dweller beneath the stalks. Is that how you spell stalks in that sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Correct.
Very good. Let's get to aphorisms. This is always a fun one. I love doing aphorisms.
See you at the NDR. No.
See ya at the NDR. Okay. Let its fire bring
Renewal?
its bounty.
Oh.
I like the bounty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Anything else? What are these people saying to each other? Like, watch out.
Make sacrifice, or Christ will.
How about this? How do you like this? Sacrifice now so that you don't sacrifice later.
Oh, I love that.
Oh.
Yeah,
Do we like that?
totally. 'Cause
Okay.
I kind of like the idea of Christ as also being a little bit of a boogeyman god.
Yeah, I like it. I think that's coming through. I think that we're
Yeah, totally.
I don't
Are
feel
we-
like he's totally beneficent. Yeah.
yeah, this is a weirdo that you have to worship in order to get food. It sucks. It's terrible. Okay, anything else? Anything else here?
Yeah.
also-
I mean, I think
yeah.
there's probably countless.
Yeah, they would say all
Aphorisms, right?
kinds
Like,
of
yeah.
things.
Behave, or
Yes.
Christ will find you.
Behave, lest ye be found
By Christ.
Oh,
by Christ.
by Christ.
Okay, cool. To sum this all up, what are the gods' areas of concern? So this is sort of the third part of the like Christ, comma, the Ravenous Renewal, comma, god of XYZ, right? So what are we talking about? We're talking about harvest, right? God of
Maybe.
harvest.
God of
Death.
bounty and decay. I'm trying to get to something that has that like double-edged.
Yeah.
Death and rebirth, maybe? I don't know. Maybe not.
Death feels a little like not quite exactly, because it's almost like he's going to get he's like resentful. I don't feel like I think we've been talking about renewal more than death. I'm sort of splitting hairs, but I feel like
No, I know what you
there's
mean.
room for like
Yeah.
a death god that is probably very different from
Right.
this.
Yeah, and that would be
Yeah,
a
he's
fun one
hungry.
to-
He's not there to
so
destroy.
let's do
He's-
hunger.
Yeah.
Harvest, hunger. That gets 2 sides of the coin, right?
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
And what else? What do we say? Harvest, hunger. We can do a
Maybe-
third H. We can make it triple H, like my favorite professional wrestler.
Hats. Well, get a hat on him.
Good. Oh, should I put on my good hat time hat? I probably should.
Oh,
you
maybe
should.
the
Good
priest
hat time.
of Christ wears an elaborate hat, you know, would connect with Fionn Glitterhearth, who has an enormous floral fascinator.
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
She got her love of hatwear, of haberdashery from her pops.
Exactly.
Harvest hunger and haberdashery. No, harvest hunger and
Pride?
Can we
I don't
get
know.
something that like captures the idea that this is something that this creature or this god is something that people like want to forget? The idea that like civilization wants to move past it. So,
Oh, maybe the
like-
Forgotten could be another one of its appellations.
ooh, okay, let's do
Christ
it.
the Forgotten.
Let's do it. Appellations, that's a good word. Okay, so how do we can we say simplicity or beginnings? Like I'm trying to capture the
peasantry, bucolic. Bucolic is too nice. I'm trying to think of something that's like
how about this? Harvest, hunger, and forgotten places. That's sort of like I think that's a little far away from what we've been talking
yeah,
about.
that
Yeah.
seems harvest hunger.
And the land.
Yeah, I like the land.
Earth.
Dirt.
Yeah, harvest,
Yeah.
hunger, and dirt.
There you go.
Because dirt gets us into like graveyards and
Right, and like dirt is both good and can be like imposing.
yeah.
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 Do we feel good about this? Do we think we've done
Yeah.
it? Okay,
I think
cool.
we're good.
All right, now we're getting into the mechanical part. So what are the gods' edicts? What must their followers strive to do? This is like, you know, followers of Pharasma have to destroy undead and things like that. So what do followers, clerics, etc. of Graced have to accomplish? They have to like make sacrifices.
Yeah,
Right?
like
Yeah.
be worrying about like sating graced, right? Like you have to be.
Oh,
Yes.
I love that. Yeah. It's always hungry. It's like the Hulk.
Yes.
That's their secret. They're always hungry.
That's the Hulk, the incredible hungry Hulk.
Hungry Hulkos.
Make sacrifices to Graced to sate it, right?
Yeah.
Maybe punish non-believers or blasphemers.
Okay,
I
I like that.
And like particularly, I think maybe you don't assist them, right? Like if a neighboring village falls prey to Graced's anger for being forgotten, you can't go give them your own bounty.
Yeah.
Totally.
So what's anathema to this guy? That sort of gets into this. So what they must strive to never share their bounty with other communities, right?
Who have been forgetful or like
who have
I guess you wouldn't need to share your
forsaken
Graced.
There's
love
something
how
here I wanted to say,
jealous
like strive
Graced
to
is.
do. I like that too. I really like that. Well then, do we want to put jealousy in here? I don't know.
I can see that.
So what must their followers strive to do? Make sacrifices, punish blasphemers, and those who do not. Those who could ruin it for everyone, right? That's like kind of
Yeah.
like we got this one person who's not doing it, and now our harvest is all screwed up. Okay. Is there anything else that they must strive to do? They must always remember Graced.
Yeah.
Maybe also feed. I don't know if this hold ritual feasts in Grace.
Well, I
Summer,
think the NDR,
Yeah,
right? Like you
the
have to
NDR
you
is,
can't miss your NDR. Like it's fine to remember Graced in June when you're planting, but if you forget that NDR, you can go fuck yourself.
Right. Totally.
So what if it's like hold on to old things until they can be fed to Graced? Parentheses
Like
in
it.
the NDR.
Okay.
via
the
via
NDR.
NDR. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what must they strive to never do, these gods? There are these followers. Waste, right? Like
Yeah.
Waste food,
Waste, fail to
maybe.
appreciate.
Waste, fail
Forget.
to appreciate, forget the bounty of
Yeah.
graced.
Yeah.
And I think probably like live in a city. They probably don't want to do
yeah.
that. Or it would be very difficult
Don't use
to.
Instacart. Grace is not into Instacart.
Not into Instacart. What's this god's alignment? I'm going to say neutral.
Yeah, chaotic neutral?
Do we think chaotic?
Neutral?
I think I kind
straight
of
up
feeling just
neutral.
straight up neutral.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what alignments might the Scots followers adhere to? I kind of feel like this could be anybody, sort of.
Yeah, I sort of feel like you
So
can
let's
see.
go through it. Lawful good, yes, right?
Yeah.
Neutral good,
Yeah.
Yeah.
chaotic good, yes,
Yeah.
probably, yeah.
The NDR, everyone gets a little chaotic good.
That's
true.
right. Lawful neutral. What is that? Is lawful neutral a thing that exists? What even is that? Who's
I think
lawful neutral?
You follow the rules, but not really for any particular reason.
Okay, great. True neutral, chaotic neutral. Yes, we like that.
Yeah.
Lawful evil, definitely.
Yeah.
Neutral evil, maybe not. Like true.
I
Evil.
think so. I think you'd like sort of Grace's
Okay.
relentlessness and mercilessness.
Okay,
Yeah.
I agree. And chaotic evil. Do we like chaotic evil or not chaotic evil? Since they're into destruction. I think maybe not chaotic evil.
Although I could see like a hidden aspect of Graced being like the devourer and like an
Fair enough.
apocalyptic Graced cult
Yeah.
that would be chaotic evil that's like looking to just sacrifice the entire world to it.
I buy it. Okay. Good. So, what divine ability does this god grant? Lets you boost an ability based on your choice of deity. So there we go. And I think we get to pick 2.
I could see Constitution.
I can see
to, like-
Constitution. Yes. So these Zoe, this is like the strength, Constitution,
Yeah.
etc. Constitution or Wisdom.
Oh, I like wisdom. Has sort of an aged feel to it. Yeah.
Strength? No? Was
I like-
Strength could be strength. What do we like more, wisdom or strength?
I like wisdom.
Let's do
We haven't
wisdom.
done wisdom yet. Let's do wisdom. Because you have to, like this is a faith that requires like vigilance and attention to and like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, OBS
Yeah.
has
have
just
to-
disconnected. So
Oh, no.
annoying. Whatever. Hopefully it'll be back. We're just going to keep going. Okay. Okay. So what skills do we get? We get to pick 2 of these of anything except for religion, or pick 1 or 2. What do we like here? Survival.
Crafting?
Nature?
Nature seems.
I like nature. Let's do nature and crafting. Do we like nature and crafting because they have to make this bracelet or whatever? They have to. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and Grace followers could be like really good at creating like little totems or something that like carvings.
Well, and I also feel like farming, I mean, it's like, it's not making a vase, right? But you have to be like good with instruments and be able to sow seeds and all of that. Good with your hands.
Yeah. And,
Okay.
and it connects with his daughter, Fionn Glitterhearth. who
That's
is-
true, right?
yeah,
Like
so-
he's sort of
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I like it too. What's this god's favorite weapon? Let's talk about favorite weapons now, guys. Let's look at this list of 1,000,000 weapons.
Bite
Whip.
attack?
Bite attack.
It does feel like a bite attack would be like.
A horse chopper. We've gotten a lot of fire things. Is there a fire weapon? The fire poi, the wind and fire wheel, the fire lance.
We're giving all the gods something with fire.
No, I'm just because we're talking about
the
burning.
bonfire. The bonfire.
The
No, you're
NDR.
right.
You know.
NDR. Yeah.
The NDR. Is there something that is worm-like or infinity-like, perhaps? Weapon-wise,
Flails.
A whip?
a whip. Whip was my first thought, but whip is maybe like
A sickle?
a sickle. Yeah,
flail
let's go with a
was
sickle.
also used
what
for
are we doing
threshing
here?
grain.
Ooh, really?
Oh,
Was it?
flail? Flail could be good.
I believe so. I believe that was its
Let's
original.
do a flail. The flail, I like flail. Flail is kind of like a worm on the end of a stick. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's make it
Could
happen.
a flail make grist? Not grist, but grist.
I think it could. I believe it
Seems
could.
like it could.
Let's go with
Yeah.
flail. Okay,
That-
what domains of magic does this god grant followers? So Zoe, this is like there are, and I'll send you this.
I got it in the chat.
Okay, so the deal with this is that like clerics and champions of a god get to pick from these domains, which are kind of like lesser magic attached to different themes, right?
Okay.
So we're sort of picking the 4 themes that feel like they fit best from this list of themes. I'd like to argue that toil should be on here.
I think Earth, pretty clearly.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I agree. So let's put earth. Earth. Can we put? I'll put toil in for now. What does earth get? We haven't done earth yet. You
Soil and stone.
hurtling stone. You can evoke a magical stone and throw it. That's
Oh,
fun.
localized quake feels totally Gristy.
I
like-
agree.
Right, you're burrowing and you
I agree. Is there one that's just harvest? No.
nature.
Nature, is nature one? Yes. You hold power over animals and
Ooh,
plants. Yes,
plague?
definitely.
No,
So
I think nature's better. Yeah.
Let's do nature. Maybe we put plague in as an alternate domain.
Mm. Yeah.
Because if you're really into the butthole side of Christ, then you might
Right.
be more of a plague kind of person.
Totally.
Okay, so we need one more domain. Dust. You have the power to dry and crumble what opposes you. That sounds Gristy, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Am
when
I
things
crazy?
are going bad, when he's been forgotten, right? When the land is fallow.
Yeah. That includes the spells Parch and Dust Storm.
Oh, yeah, those seem good. That's like his anger.
Yeah. Do we like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. Earth, toil, nature, dust. I think that's cool. I think that captures what we're talking about.
Yeah. And maybe it's the plague worshippers who like make particular sacrifice to Christ. Like they're the chaotic evil.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
oh, and if they sacrifice lots of humans, like plague could arise from the sacrifice because they don't like move it or care for it in any way. And so they just have these
Irresponsible worship of Christ. Graced? What's this guy's name? We don't know.
People say both over time. All pronunciations have been used.
You could just
Some
go.
have even said
"Oh,
Greg.
Greg.
the forgotten pronunciation.
It's been long said that the name began as Greg. We got one more thing to do. It's picking spells.
Ooh.
Yeah. So everybody who so the deal is that clerics of different gods get access to.
Being a cleric of Christ is super funny.
You'd be a real weirdo, but I love it.
It
Yeah.
happens.
It does happen. So basically, it's like any spell that is not on the divine list. Any spell that is not on the divine list is available as something that you could pick up, basically.
Okay.
So so this is the way that we've kind of been talking about this world so far, is that there's not a ton of magic, and that magic granted by gods is probably one of the most sort of
Common forms.
common way of magic happening. So we're kind of trying to think about, these are spells that would be more commonplace based on, that. There's a spell called Mud Pit. I'm just going to name spells if anybody has any desire for me to do that.
Ooh. Oh, Feast of Ashes. You curse the target with a hunger no food can sate.
Ooh.
That's a level 2/1.
Sure. You curse. So what does that do to them? They become fatigued. Let's do it. Let's put that on there. So we still need a level 1 spell. Feast of Ashes. That's right on the money. Nice job.
Oh, thanks. I like
Nailed it.
Mud Pit, honestly. I
Mud
think that
Pit.
feels
Mud Pit
good
just
to
makes
me.
a mud pit happen, right? It's just like you throw them in
Yeah.
a mud pit and they're like, I'm stuck in this mud. It's pretty good. Let's throw a mud pit in here.
Oh, I I'd also maybe say vomit swarm, like
What?
Grice.
Ooh.
Really?
You think? No? Okay. I'm happy to be wrong on
Locusts.
that.
No, I like it. All right, vomit swarm. Very good.
Animate rope, but like it's a Grist effigy, not a
Ooh.
rope.
Hmm.
It's a little far fetched.
I like it. I like animate rope. Why not? Let's do it. Yeah.
That's a level.
Sure.
That's
It's
level 1.
You're making a worm dance around with a little rope, right? Baby Mannequin in the chat throws out one that we absolutely must do.
Oh, of course.
Worms repast.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
It must
No
be
question.
done. Volek Azernae's signature spell. Spoilers. Sorry.
No.
Guys, we did it.
Wow.
Shall we walk through what it is that we've done as we
Yes.
put a pin
yeah.
in this god?
All hail Grist.
All hail Christ. Let's start. Armet, what is this god? Who is this? This is too hard to synthesize. I need to rearrange this thing. Let's get in. What do I do here? How do I make this happen? Okay. Armet, what is this god's name and what are their appellations?
Grist, the Ravenous Renewal, or the Composter, or the Dweller Beneath the Stalks, or the Forgotten.
Fantastic. Zoe, what does this god look like?
It's a multicolored worm that is got a toothy mouth on both ends.
We
Front,
did a good
back,
job with this art.
back,
Look at
front.
this. Look at this
Yeah.
art we got. I feel like we did a great job on that.
God of the
They've
film
got
Tremors.
complicated relationships with these various gods. I'm going to skip through that. They're worshipped. The people have said about them that that massive sacrifices must be made to Christ in order to have crops replenished by him rather than eaten by it. And that people that didn't do that, it went poorly for them. Okay.
Not great.
We can see the holy symbol. We can see the god. We can see the image of Christ right there. Armet, where does this god's followers live?
In the countryside, in farms, in general rural agrarian societies, but also graveyards.
Oh. Zoe, what do their temples look like?
They're simple. They're made out of dirt or a mound, sort of like a barrow or a hole or tunnel into the ground. And then the followers like to use, leftover plant material to do weavings or twisted fiber totems. And then obviously when you get to the NDR and you're at the temple, there's going to be a fire actually happening where things are burned.
Yes, its followers are farmers, homesteaders, gardeners, serfs, undertakers, salt of the earth people. Armet, let's talk about this clothing that these people wear.
Well, nudity is a part of it, and they wear a woven bracelet, a double loop to create the infinity Ouroboros symbol made from the dried leftovers of the last harvest. And if it breaks in between the harvest, it's a bad omen, and it is fed to the fires during the NDR.
The loop must be continued, right?
Yeah.
Zoe, tell us
that
about
could
this,
be a phrase, they say.
NDR. But yeah, I'll add that to the thing.
One of the key things about the NDR is fire, and another one is how naked everyone is. And people, I think it starts out sort of somber, but then people become sort of more wild and joyous and are throwing these bracelets and the woven totems that they've made. For the chaotic evil out there, there can be human sacrifice. There might be animal sacrifice for the others. Old people, particular danger of getting sacrificed. So sorry about
watch
that.
Your back when you're at the NDR.
And old crops and the like can also be burned.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Grist home for elderly care. It seems to have a lot of turnover. Weirdly enough.
Not a good place to be.
Followers
will say things like, "See you at the NDR." Let its fire bring its bounty. Sacrifice now so that you don't sacrifice later. Behave lest ye be found by Christ. And the loop must continue. Right?
Yeah.
Must continue. Great. Armat, what is Christ the god of?
Harvest, hunger, and dirt.
And then we got all these edicts that we just did. We don't need to recap. We've done it. They get worms repast. It's cool. There's a flail, and there we go. We did it. Friends.
Hooray!
Awesome.
All hail Christ. I mean, let the loop continue, etc. Well, we did it. We made a god. Can you believe it?
Beautiful god.
A beautiful, weird god. The weirdest god yet,
Yeah.
potentially.
I'm into it. I'm super into Christ as a, yeah,
Yeah. Praise Christ.
praise its name.
Praise its name. All right, everybody.
Christ.
Thank you so much for tuning in and for checking our show out. If you're watching us on Twitch, go ahead and give us a follow. That would be awesome. If you did that, that would be cool. I'd like that. If you're seeing this on YouTube, this archive of this is going to go up on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/@tabletopgold. Why not subscribe to us on there? You can find the podcast that we put out every single Monday, Tabletop Gold, on every podcast app that exists, as far as I am aware of. We play Pathfinder Second Edition. We're doing the Abomination Vaults of Adventure Path. If you enjoyed this, you're going to love that show because it's great. Does that cover basically about everything?
Yeah.
What do we want to say?
Leave a review, right?
Leave a review, right?
Leave a review.
We've almost got 100 reviews now, and that's a big.
There you
That's
go.
that's a
Awesome.
big.
Be number
thing.
100. It could
Be
be
number
you.
100.
Yeah.
Yes. Let the loop continue, please.
Do it for Christ.
Do it for
Yeah.
Christ. All right, guys.
Review so that it may be renewed. Or
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Throw
that
your
works.
Android phone into a bonfire. Okay. Everybody, thank you. We'll see you later. Until then, let the God that you make be your own. Okay, bye. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, y'all.